Hi friends, this is the Be Real Babe podcast, a place where your average Canadian wolfpack come together to talk about life stresses, messes, and successes. A safe space where being yourself is the ultimate goal. Each week we will bring you new episodes sharing our opinions on a ton of different topics in hopes we can get a better understanding of ourselves, each other, and this crazy world we live in. We want to build a community where we can show up as ourselves, be real, and lay it all out there. By sharing our opinions and experiences, we hope to reach others who can relate so we can all help each other learn, grow, and heal. But please keep in mind, as a disclaimer, none of us here are professionals. No one is giving any advice. We are strictly speaking of our life experiences, our opinions, and for entertainment purposes only. Now, with that being said, it's time. So grab your drink, grab your joint, and let's jump right in. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Being Real With. This is a part of the Be Real Babe podcast where we get back to our roots and we talk to our friends, family, community about all sorts of topics, their experiences, their feelings, their opinions, their wins, their losses, anything, you name it, we talk about it in this segment. For those that don't know me, my name is Brandy and I am the host of the show. And today we're on episode 125, Being Real with the Mamas. You guys, I'm so excited about this one. We love mama talk. That is one thing I think that is very, very much missing in the world is truth talk when you're a parent. I know a lot of people worry about, showing up in the world and being the best parent that they can and what do other people think. And it's such a stressful time. I can't even imagine. I mean, as a cat parent, I'm going to say that's hard enough as it is. I can't imagine what it's like when it's a real human. So we really wanted to bring this up and have some real honest talk about being a parent and specifically being a mom from the babes, because that's what we do, right? So excited for this episode, guys. We have a little bit of a plot twist for you coming up here. But before we jump into that, I just want to remind you, if you are on YouTube or Rumble, if you could remember to subscribe and like the video. It helps show YouTube that you guys like our videos and you want to see us, even though the Canadian government is doing literally everything it can to shut us down. But that's another topic for another day. So make sure to like and subscribe and turn on those notification bells. You get a little notice when we drop a video twice a week so far in season 5. If you are listening on the audio platforms like Apple or Spotify, if you can also make sure to follow, and if you have time to leave a review, that also really helps your girls. You don't even have to say words. Just go in there and hit that 5 stars, hopefully. That helps us out so much on those platforms as well. And if you are on social media, don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. We are uploading every day but Sunday because, Sunday is the rest day, meal prep day, all those things. But the rest of the week, we have videos, we have posts, we have links. We're sharing all the things over there. So make sure you're following us on there. And let's get into the good shit.
Welcome back, you guys. It's a plot twist here. Today, Brandy couldn't join us and Danielle as well. So it's just me and Haley. You get to have
I have
us.
no problems with that. Love a good
Me
Kayla
either.
chat.
Yeah, it's been a while since it's just been me and you, just me and you. It started out like we were just talking about like preparing for the end of the world type shit, like things that we
Yes.
would buy and like stuff we want to learn to do. And it's kind of neat because like you're kind of living some of it. Like Haley just got chickens. You have chickens.
I
You
have
built a coop
chickens.
by yourself.
No, so we go
What
to
did you
PD
get?
Mart by our house and they had a bunch of them out like on display and one of them was only like
Oh,
$250 and it housed like up to 4 chickens. And I told Nick, I was like, come on. Like, there's no way our yard isn't huge. We live in the middle of Sherwood Park, but it's not
yeah,
small enough that we couldn't tuck it away in a corner. So, yeah, we bought that coop. I built like a weird extension to it. And
I
yeah,
like it.
we've gotten so far, I think over 50 eggs. We've only had them for what, 3-4
What?
weeks. Yeah. Dude, we get
That's a
4 eggs a
lot.
day solid from them, 1 egg each. It's quite insane, to be honest. And
And
I was telling Nick today, I am like very surprised and shocked that this isn't like encouraged more. Like everyone should have their own chickens. Like I don't get it. They're
yeah,
so easy to take care of and you get eggs. Liquid gold.
yeah. It's
Like come
it's
on.
literally like, and they're expensive in the store too. Like
And honestly, surprisingly, they're not that expensive to care for in my opinion anyways. I only have 4. I don't have like a flock of like tons like a
four's
farmer
good
would,
though.
but yeah, like just have as many as you need to make as many eggs as your family can consume. And quite honestly, they eat all your chicken scraps. Like it's a very nice relationship. I call them my ladies, for ladies.
Nice.
Even
The
Evie, every
ladies.
now
Oh
and
my
then we go
god.
outside. Hi, ladies. She says it's so
Oh,
cute.
does she?
Or she'll say, "Go see the
Oh,
ladies." Like she calls them the
go see the
ladies. Yeah,
ladies.
it's
Oh,
so
I love
funny.
that. That's so cute. Oh my god. Kids are, yeah, that's really cute. She's in a really like fun, but like fun can meet like there's like a fine line between fun and scary,
It's like
you
I
know?
don't. The more I'm into it, like I'm fully into the twos now, and I don't like when people call them terrible twos. Nick calls it terrible twos all the time, and it really bugs me because no one ever tells you about the twos being when their voice comes, they start talking a lot more, their words start coming out, their
Yeah.
little personalities develop much more. They're more sure of like what they like, what they don't like, what they want, what they don't want, but it's all clouded by, oh, the
Hmm.
terrible twos. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
No, that's
I'm
fair.
trying to do my best to like absorb everything, but she is trying every last one of our patients and is quite literally a tornado of like energy. It's wild.
Ah, yeah, I remember fucking Cash when he was like around that age. And because once they start walking, like crawling's one thing, crawling is one thing. Because you can kind of like catch them. They can't
They
crawl
can't go.
faster than you
Yeah.
can, like, but like when they get those little fucking legs going and they're running, they're just like, oh my god, they're
The
speed
first
demons.
few
And so they don't
weeks and
stop.
months of like the toddling is pretty easy, but yeah, once they get their feet on them and they're steady in their stance, you're
They,
quite honestly screwed. Like they are
yeah.
nothing runs faster than a toddler when they're either not doing something they're not supposed to, trying to reach get something that they know they're not supposed to be touching or playing with. Like they are mischievous little like terrors when they get to walking.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's awesome though.
Oh my god.
I wouldn't trade it for
It
nothing.
is.
It's
It
so
is.
funny. Well, you used to be surrounded by them, so
Yes, I was. And like honestly, I thrived in it. Like I was in like the 3 to 5 program for so long that I literally called that place Jurassic Park. I was like, when I would go and sub and I'd be in a different room, I would be like, "Hey, I have to go to Jurassic Park now. Thoughts and prayers."
you're like
But like I love them.
in a room of
Oh god,
velociraptors.
literally. And you get a bunch of them and like they're different energies together and some of them just like magnify each other and you can get 6 of them or 7 of them can feel like 12
Yeah,
on in that one group.
I
And
often
then you
tell my
add
day
like,
home lady, I don't know how
oh,
you guys do it. Especially when
see, and
they bounce
yeah,
off each other. Little boys are always more rambunctious. Little girls get to
yeah,
like bickering and fighting and
pushing and slapping and
pulling
you're just
hair.
like, hey, the hair pulling is the one thing. I'm like, children are just maniacs.
Savages.
Like, but they're also, you have to think about it too, like from the other side of it, it's they're figuring out their fingers and their
Yeah.
dexterity and what they can and can't do. And when they discover that they can pull someone's hair out, I get this idea that they feel somewhat powerful and it's like, look what I
Evie
can
did that
do.
not too long ago to me. I don't wear my hair down often around her now because the
Oh,
second she throws a tantrum and she's in my arms, it's an immediate like handful. She never did it when she was
in your
a
hair.
baby or like little, but yeah, it is like a that or pinching and grabbing and scratching is her new thing too. It's very
Yeah.
odd. It's funny you said dexterity. She was having a shower earlier and she got her finger stuck in our shower drain. And all I can hear is ow, ow, ow. And I'm like, oh my god, what? And I thought soap in her eye or something. I come in and her finger's stuck in here. I'm like, girl, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing? Yank her poor little digit out of the damn hole. She's looking at me like, mommy. I'm like, yeah, ow. What are you doing?
Don't do that
They're
again. That's so
so
funny.
odd.
There's
How is it with like I guess you're not quite in the double digits yet, but I mean a few more years and you're gonna have a teenager on your hands.
he might as well be a teenager, honest to God. Like he's it's fun though. Like I found after kindergarten, like 5 years old was rough. Like still figuring things out, like
Boundaries.
emotions and regulations and boundaries and things. So that was interesting. But now that we've been in school, he's in grade 2 now. So it's been like I've had kindergarten, grade 1. I've had like very great teachers and such.
Hmm.
So he's in a really good place and it's fun. Like he's up to my shoulder. Um,
That's insane.
I at 7, I'm 5'9" and 32 years old. I'm fully grown human. So I think he's gonna tower over me, but I'm excited to like start doing like sports and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And like kind of if we have another baby, I kind of want to have a boy. Like I wouldn't be mad if I had a girl, but like I like being a boy mom. It's kind of I don't know, it's just different.
I was convinced that Evie was going to be a boy because there's just something about me. I didn't think I was going to be like, I'm not the
Hmm.
girliest of girls by any stretch. I
No.
am such a tomboy. Like, I am so down for, like, yeah, the fishing, quadding, playing in the mud. Like, that kind of stuff
Yeah.
doesn't bug me at all. Playing with bugs, digging for worms, catching frogs. But yeah, I was blessed with the tiniest little mini me. So she's going to get
You're
all
so
that and
cute.
some. I get to do both with her, which is
Yeah.
kind of fun. The more I think about it, I get the best of both worlds, I guess.
Yeah, and I love that. Like I do, I think I wanted a girl, and I like to have someone like that I can like match. Like if I
Yeah,
wear bow or something, or like my head
that's
wrap
pretty
or
fun. I'll give you
whatever, things
that.
like that, like little girl things like that. Like I've always wanted it. And I was convinced that Cash was gonna. He was supposed to be a girl. Like I thought for sure. We had picked a girl's name. We hadn't. We. I was just like going off how I want. Probably more what I wanted. And when I found out that it was a boy, I was so fucking mad. I was like, I looked at the lady and her face, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" She's like, "Oh yeah, there's his penis," and I'm like, "Dope."
Cool, cool. Grown a little
So I
penis.
spent like a week or something like mad, and then I finally like came around to it, and I was like, oh fuck, like I can't be mad. So I just started like talking to him in my belly, and yeah, I don't know, we have a really special
I
bond.
love
He
that.
can be a shit though.
I'm actually
He
really
can
glad
be. He can
that
be a real shit.
I have another mom of the group. Not that B and Danielle aren't any less than mothers to their fur babies, but yeah, it's
Well,
definitely
yeah.
well, especially that you worked in like daycare and stuff. Like it is raising a human is a very interesting journey. It is a challenge, but it is such a joy. It is such a mixed bag, and it's so like hard to like express to people how like I would never change anything and I would never do anything different, but like so help me God, sometimes I'm surprised I'm not bald with how much I could have like I can just rip
Oh
my
my
hair out
god.
of how frustrating and like exhausting and overstimulating it can be to be a mom. You always have to be
Yeah,
on.
and like
You have no breaks.
on all the time, even when you're sick, like all the time. It's you just went through that in your house. Your whole house had the
God.
literal plague recently.
Apparently, we had the rotavirus, ROTA virus, not Rona. Everyone assumes I
Oh,
say that. Yeah, one of the girls at her day home went to the hospital and got tested, and hers was Rota. A bunch of the kids, one of the little kids in her day home had seizures from it. Two of them were hospitalized. Three of them were like so extremely sick. One of them got
wow.
nothing. And Evie was the last to get it, and she was throwing up and had diarrhea and just not feeling herself. And then the day she was better, Nick and I got smacked in the face, one with diarrhea, one with fucking throwing up, and just the energy drain and trying to like be a parent and be on and keep her entertained, and our routine was like dead to the world. Like it
Shot.
was so eye-opening, I guess. Like I feel like that's so far been the hardest curveball that we've been thrown as parents, was just both being
The illness.
extremely ill, as she is just like, let's go, run
Party.
around, party time, take over the house. Like she was like the master of the house. It was ridiculous. I couldn't believe how just, yeah, lifeless we were compared to her. And yeah, that was not easy. I lost my cool so many times. I was so frustrated and just like thin
Oh,
patience
fuck
as it
yeah.
was. And yeah, it was hard. I don't
Yeah, like when
recommend.
you're like that ill and whatnot, like you have nothing to give. So it's like the slightest thing seems so like, no, I don't want to say inconveniencing because like we love our children, but like everyone, like you guys know out there, like if you're listening or watching, like other parents out there, it can be, yeah, like when you're sick, it's so shitty that it was the both of you too, like one with one thing and one with the other thing.
It was just,
Like we're lucky enough
yeah.
to not get that. We have like Cash will get sick, and then Ryan will get sick, and then I'll get sick, or Cash will get sick, I'll get sick, Ryan will get sick. So someone's always
And that's how it
healthy. But
was
Cash is,
for us
yeah,
before. But
he's at an age now too where he like can kind of like manage himself
mhm.
like He can
Doesn't
just
need to
chill
be
and
so
do
hands
stuff.
on. Yeah.
Yeah. Or he doesn't need as much like one-on-one or stimulation from us.
Yeah.
So he's able to like go and set up something. Like he's got so much shit, like Lego, Nerf guns. He
Yeah.
likes to video game,
He can have his
all
downtime
kinds of
on his
things.
own without your,
Yeah.
yeah, intervention type
Needing
thing.
to like constantly supervised. I'm still watching. I watch everything he does. Like I check on him, but it's just like way
The
less.
one
So
thing that really
it's kind of
annoyed me too is like I realize that young immune systems need to get sick and they are going to get sick all the time. I can fully like understand that, but I don't like that it's just so normal that children are on a constant rotation of ill. Like it is just, oh, it's
I
normal,
know
but really, like
why.
I get it. I get that their immune systems are growing and developing, and like it's not a bad thing to have illness introduced, but like it's the first 4 to 6 weeks of her day home was an absolute fucking nightmare. It was just back to back, ill, 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 ill. And like
Mm,
Nick and I didn't get it then. I think Nick had it a little bit at one point and I had it a little bit, but it wasn't bad like this one. But it's just so hard to see your baby so like lifeless and like just
oh, that's the
lethargic and
worst.
not their like I'd never wanted my house to be torn up so bad, and she's just like not feeling herself. And it's such a weird thing because yeah, I don't like when she tears my house apart, but when she doesn't and you know something's wrong, there's nothing that can
Yeah,
quite like penetrate your chest and like right to your heart than watching your baby be sick or sad or like suffering in some capacity. I hated it.
some
I
way.
hated
Yeah,
it.
yeah. It's shitty. It's so
Hmm.
shitty. And you feel like kind of helpless, but it's nice when they're that age because they want that she want to cuddle and stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
very cuddly,
well,
very like
yeah,
sucky. The only thing for me is like um because like she's breastfed, which whatever. She's just been very mom, mom, mom since day one. And because we're home all the time
yeah,
together, and Nick works all day and he sees her in the morning and then briefly at night for supper and stuff and before she goes to bed, like her relationship with him is obviously still strong, but it's still developing in the sense that like she doesn't really like spend a whole lot of time with him during the week, so she's very
yeah,
clingy. So that's where this week got really hard for me because I still wasn't feeling good, but she just wanted nothing but me, and I couldn't even shower
yeah,
without her losing her mind. I couldn't go into the other room and like try and like do a dish, like wash a dish or like pick up something without her just like losing her shit. And that's where it was just like the one day, like, yeah, I was walking around kind of picking stuff up after she went to bed, and Nick's like, "You're just kind of over today, aren't you?" I was like, I have never ever been so over a day in my life. Like, I just don't talk to me. I just need to be silent and like
alone.
alone for like 5 minutes. And I don't like that either,
Yeah,
how it's just so normal. Like, mothers are expected to be grateful to take a shower by themselves or do groceries alone or clean their house without their child around because they're outside playing with friends or like at grandma's or with dad or whatever.
yeah,
But like those are normal everyday tasks that people get to do without having to feel so grateful to have that moment alone. Like I find that really unhealthy for moms. Like we're just, like I said, always having to be on. Always. We have no
yeah,
choice but to be on always.
yeah.
And it sucks.
Yeah, and it can be really intense too. Like I again, he's at an age now where he's kind of more self-sufficient
Hmm.
and he does his thing. Like he will go outside. The neighbor kids come around now. It's kind of cool to see that. Like, and we're probably going to start putting him on sports teams and shit.
That'll be
So
nice.
I'm excited to kind of move more forward, I guess, but like also trying to just still cherish the fact that he's 7 and we're gonna go to the lake this weekend, and I'm really excited to like spend time with him where there's not really focus on electronics or anything.
Hmm.
It's kind of nice to kind of unplug and do that kind of thing. But
I feel like you're on the
I
cusp
remember it
of
being
like
so intense.
getting to like have kind of mom time versus always having to be like watchful and like conscious of like everything that he's doing, whereas he's getting to the age where yeah, you can just trust that he's not going to go throw himself off a like cliff or something, you know.
Yeah, fuck. Like, don't do that kind of shit.
Yeah, where your kind of
As
peace of
long,
mind is slowly going to start coming back the older he gets, right? Well, not really, but
yeah,
You know what I
I'll
mean?
stress out when he starts like driving
Oh my
around in cars
God.
with his friends and shit for sure.
I
And
don't even
like
want to think about that.
we have like a my situation too is like different. Like you guys are you and Nick are 100% all the time, right? And Cash has a dad that lives in Alberta that he just had twins,
Hmm.
so he's about getting ready to go there at the end of June, I think, and I'll have an empty nest for like 2 months or 2.5 months.
You guys
So
split that
it's
really,
kind
really
of
well, though, I feel.
yeah, and we do like Christmas. He goes there. I send him there for 2 weeks.
Mm,
Like last Christmas, I sent him for a month. I sent him in the beginning of December because his
yeah, I
sisters were
remember
coming,
that.
and I wanted him to be there for that.
Hmm.
But I think they ended up being born before he got there, but he still got to see them and be with them. And now they're just getting older and they're starting to like lift their heads up and stuff. So I have like weird baby
Oh,
fever
totally.
in some ways,
It's
but
truly
and
disgusting how
all the
baby fever hits you real hard. My girlfriend just had a
it's
baby, and
just
I'm just like drooling at the fact that they
let me
smell
hold
so
him.
good and they're just so little and they're
And
easy. They don't do anything. They lay there. Like they're
yeah,
just such a peanut, right? No, you guys have a really decent balance, and I think that's really admirable because honestly, it can be so hard to like co-parent with someone that you're not with anymore, and just like the balance of I did that as a kid, the balance of having to like split time between mom and dad and like figure out the
yeah.
schedule. So,
Well, even yeah, like even if he lived here, I don't know how we would do it. It would just be weird. I'd almost want to do two and two,
mhm.
so that a week on, a week off is just like so much transition.
Well, and it's like almost too short of a time because I used to do every second weekend, and like looking back, it was never long enough. Like I always wanted to spend way more time because I had my siblings at my dad's. I had my two brothers, so
Yeah,
I had, even though they were much younger than I was for the most part. Like my one brother is 9 years younger than I am. Jared was only 4 or 5 years younger. So, but it was still like it never seemed long enough. So two and two would be, especially if he's got siblings, and it just gives you more quality time. I feel like too, where it's not so rushed.
yeah, yeah. And that kind of that's what I that even sometimes when he goes away now, it feels like I'm always sad when he
Hmm.
leaves, but I've gotten a lot better. Like I used to procrastinate packing his stuff because I literally fucking hated it. I was like, this feels like I'm just giving him away. Like
Yeah,
eh. I had to work through that so hard, and then eventually I started talking to my therapist, and he was like, "This is kind of time for you to do like to focus on yourself."
hmm,
And so I'm grateful that we have that co-parenting relationship that we have between myself and Ryan in this house, and then Tyler and Brittany
that's good.
in Grand Prairie. And Brittany's parents are so fucking hands on. Like I swear to God, they live in Tyler and Brittany's house right now. They're always there. They're always
So
helping with the
sweet.
twins. So yeah, it's really cool to see and to know that that's the kind of people that Cash is surrounded by.
Hmm.
Like Grandma Karen sends him a card for fucking everything.
I love that though. It's
Easter,
always so cute.
Thanksgiving, like just Halloween,
It's
fucking
such a good
everything.
relationship and
Valentine's.
such a
Yeah.
good thing to have someone who, yeah, dotes on your child like
Loves
that.
him.
Yeah.
And he's so well loved between like Tyler's mom and his sister and
Hmm.
their family, and then like Ryan's family, and then my family. Like my family doesn't see him as much because they just don't. But we try to always make sure my dad gets to see Cash when he's with Tyler.
Good.
Like my dad will message me, or I message Tyler, and they'll go spend some time with him. And
That's cute.
so but it's kind of crazy. Like I hated it in the beginning, the idea of being a single mom and being again meeting someone and then having like a blended family. I hated it, and then I don't know. I just
It's worked out.
started to enjoy how the process was and how much time I've had to like actually just focus on myself and not feel selfish.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at with him going away now. Whereas I'm like, this is time for me to just hone in, and like maybe I'll deep clean the house and get his room, go through stuff and declutter and do things and not have a curfew or have to, you know what I mean? Like it sounds weird. It's, but
No, I totally
I
get it.
kind of I enjoy it, but I don't know. It's getting weird because like sports and stuff. So I don't know how that'll all work because usually sports go through the summer when school's out or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, that's going to be kind of a
But
trickier schedule for sure.
when he gets older, we'll see like how it works out. Like things are always like up in the air, and
Mm-hmm.
we're constantly talking about like the future. But I don't know. It's I'd like to have him so he could do that kind of stuff.
For sure. But you also
And
don't
we're
want
gonna
to take
have
away
children
from like
anyways.
time with dad and sisters and
Yeah,
yeah.
I know. So it's weird. But his dad wants him to move there and come see me in the holidays. So
Oh wow.
either way, yeah, like it would be he's either there and seeing me on the holidays or here and seeing them on the holidays. And I don't know, I just can't seem to let go of him living here.
I truly I'm really weird in the sense that like I wouldn't say it's like a control thing, but I'm having the hardest time letting go. Evie has been babysat once by my stepmom and
Yeah,
my dad when Nick and I went golfing for a few hours. Other than that, it's been while she's asleep. We'll go out. My stepmom will come hang out at the house while she's asleep.
yeah,
Like I don't know. I just have stuck in my head that no one's gonna love and care for my baby the way I do, and there's something about that that really like bugs me. Even though I know my stepmom, my mom, my dad, my family like adore her and would do nothing ever like wrong by her ever. But there's just
yeah,
something about it that yeah, I have a hard time letting go, and I do not like being away from her. I don't. The second I'm away, all I can think about is her. I feel so guilty, and it's not guilty like I don't know. It's just a weird. It's that
like
attachment.
you should be with them.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
should like
yeah,
I'm not like I always said I had a kid because I wanted to have one. I didn't want to just pawn her off all the time and like dump her at like my parents' house all the time, even though like I have the option. And there's nothing
yeah,
wrong with that and like taking regular date nights, but like just the way Nick and I kind of work out, like it wasn't something that I was interested in. But now the older she's getting and the more like I don't want to say suffocating, like it's been 2 years where I've literally done nothing for myself. I don't go anywhere without
yeah,
her. I don't do anything without her, Nick, or and so it's getting to the point where I have to start telling myself like you have to go a night away, you have to go do something. I have a girlfriend that's putting on a retreat here soon, or like a yoga
nice,
like night away camping thing that I told Nick. I was like, look,
nice,
I'm doing it. I have to. Like I have to start just doing things for myself because although I'm not the type of mom that like I am who I am. I am who I was before her, but now that just includes being a mother. Like I am who I am,
yeah,
which now is also a mom. I don't feel like I need to get back to who I was type thing, but I definitely need to get back to like an individual of like I am still a person. I still have overwhelmed feelings sometimes and I still have the need to like decompress and just like take a breath and like be without the responsibility of constantly having to worry about where she is, what she's doing, is she fine, does she need food, does she need water? Like it's a lot. It's
yeah.
definitely
It's intense.
it's a balance that I'm trying to figure out, but yeah, I used to just say like when she goes to bed this is my time to do what I want, but now a lot of the days I'm just so exhausted and have nothing left that
Yeah,
it's me laying in bed scrolling or doing the few small pickup chores that I have to and then watching like a mindless TV show so I can just shut my brain off. So I
yeah,
definitely want to start like just getting back to like a better routine of things for myself that don't involve having to do things for the house or everyone else type thing.
yeah, yeah. I get it.
I truly
It's
don't
definitely
know how people
important
with
too.
like 3, 4, and 5, like I've got a girlfriend from high school who has 5 children. It's just fucking, I don't know how you do it. Like it's that's a lot. I guess it's probably just like riding a
Five.
bike second nature by that point, but I just, yeah.
And I would also think like I kind of feel like Ryan wants to have two relatively close together so that
Ooh.
they can keep each other
That was our thought
like
too.
company.
If we had another, it's going to be in the next year, and if not, then we're kind of done going for it. Nick's could care less. Nick doesn't. My her birth was traumatic enough for Nick. He doesn't want to go through another one. But I'm still working on it. I'm giving myself a year, and then yeah, because it is fun. Like I said, my siblings. My youngest brother is 9 years younger than me. He's 25. And it's still like,
Yeah.
I'm 34 this year, he's 26. Like, it's just kind of it's a huge gap. And I saw it when we were younger. Like, he wanted to do everything we did, but he was just way too young to do it. And it's just kind of the way it was. So having them close in age is ideal, but like, I wouldn't say necessary, but it'd be fun to have
Yeah.
like a buddy, right?
And it's kind of, we joke about it because like Cash will just keep getting older and be able to like, because he's already having the experience with the twins right
Help
now at
out.
this age,
Big helper.
he's helping a lot and he's doing a lot of stuff. So it's kind of fun to see him become more responsible. And oh my god, I have to fight him on something sometimes. Like I said to him, I would give him a break on reading for school if he put his laundry away. And then I kind of tried to bargain and say, if you just put it all away, then you won't have to do that, split that up and do that tomorrow. You can have your free time
Yeah.
to do what you want. And so he was like, well, he's supposed to clean his room on Friday. He's like, well, what if I do my laundry and clean my room a little bit and then I don't have to on Friday? And I was like, well, yeah, then
Mm-hmm.
you're not doing you have Thursday and Friday free of that kind of
Yeah.
those jobs. But
Responsibility.
we do the reading. We'll do the reading anyways because it's good for him and he's getting somewhere. And it's kind of nice to like it's school is such a wild trip. Like every milestone that you go through as a parent is like, once you kind of get through it and you get used to it, like you just start getting used to it and you start to get ready to transition to another fucking stage. So it's like it's constant and it's ever evolving and always changing, and you're just like, you get through it and you're like, what the fuck was that?
You don't even
Did
get a
I
second to like
we
enjoy it
survived?
almost. Like,
Yeah, you blink basically. You just fucking blink, and next thing he's gonna be like 18 and graduating, and I'm just like, how did we get here?
from
Like, what?
the oldest sibling though, when there is an age gap like that, like my little brother was my dolly. Like, I just wanted to dress him and change him and help with everything. I just wanted to be so involved. I remember the first time we were at my grandparents and he was really upset. I don't remember if he hurt himself or what, but he wanted no one but me. He didn't want my grandma, my grandpa. He wanted Dee Dee. He wanted his big sister. And it was just such
Oh,
a, I don't know, it was just one of those moments where I was like, don't worry. And he, legs wrapped around me, arms around my neck, like would not let go, just
oh,
tight as could be. And yeah, there's something to be said about being like the much older sibling. Like, you get to see things a lot different. You kind of understand why things are happening. Like, you get to learn. So it'll be cute to see, yeah, Cash learn through his now twin sisters, and eventually if you guys have another kid, like he'll be well versed in helping out with babies. But yeah, it's hard to not, like, you still don't want to miss all his stages, right? Because
yeah,
7 is not quite, I don't know, it's under 10. I feel like under 10 is still, they're learning and growing and changing so much that
yes.
if you blink, like you said, you blink and you miss it. So it's such a weird balance of wanting to get back to normal life but also not wanting to like distance yourself too much that you don't notice
Yeah,
milestones.
little things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. He's such a funny fucking kid too. Like Ryan will always joke like he is exactly like you. Like I'm a really wild human being. Like when you're around me enough, like I'm super comfortable with him now. Like we've been together for 5 years. 5 years? I want to say five. Let I'm stoned, so no one cursed me
Time
on that.
doesn't
I'm
make
like, I'm
sense right now.
blushing. But yeah,
It's true. Once
I'm
you've
just a
passed a
really
certain
goofy
time,
human.
the comfortability
You just don't even,
curtain just comes
yeah,
completely off. There isn't one anymore.
yeah. I have so many weird little ticks too. But Cash is just so much like me, and I can always count on him whenever I'm doing something shifty to come in and match my energy. Like he will match it. He will take it up here, and I'm like,
Oh my god,
yes,
that's gonna be me and
this is
Evie.
what I
I'm
wanted.
so looking forward to
Yeah,
that. She's just gonna be a little,
it's funny.
yeah, I that's the best part though, I think, is seeing the mirror. Like, they're little mirrors in a lot of ways that,
They
like,
become who you are. Yeah.
yeah, and my mom likes to say it's karmic retribution for her, cuz yeah, like, I was a pain in the ass little child, and here comes my big dose of karma of, she's exactly like me. I'm going to get to go through exactly the same stuff. Like, yeah, I think that's cute.
it's funny to watch it too, because like there'll be things that'll happen where I'm just like, why the fuck would you do that, Cash? Like, why the fuck would you do that? Like, oh, I tell you guys about the couch?
No.
Oh my God. Okay. So as I live and breathe, I am aware that the way that I handle this might not have been the best, but it's funny. So we're just gonna send it. I wanted to go in the hot tub by myself. And I said to Cash, I just need like 5 minutes, just like let me be, because he'll usually come out there and fuck around, and then like they just kind of just I just needed 5 minutes, you know. And so I was
Calm.
trying to vocalize that
Yeah.
of just peace, just nothing, 5 minutes. And I think, like personally, I looking back at it, I think that he was mad that I said that he couldn't come into the yard. So as it progresses, I come in from the hot tub and I fucking sit down, and then we're doing something. I think we're getting ready to go somewhere, probably school. And I was looking for his water bottle or looking for something, the remote. And I noticed that my blanket was laid out like in a really specific way on the coat, on the cushion. So I moved it, and I looked, and I was like, "Is this a fucking cut in the couch, like in the cushion? Like, is this a cut?" So I asked him. I was like, "Hey, so what the fuck is this?" Like, what the fuck is this? And it just got so escalated so quickly. Like, I was like, why the fuck would you do that though? Like, he's like, I don't know. He just kept saying, I don't know. And I was like, you little motherfucker, you know exactly why you fucking did this. So this is probably the funniest part, but like some people might not agree. And like looking back, like I said, I'm aware that it might not have been the best. So I was so mad that I went in his room, and I was like, "You just want to start cutting shit, Cash?" I was like, "What would you do if I just start cutting your shit? Like, how the fuck would that make you feel?" And he was like, he's just like in awe at this point. So I grab his pillow and I just fucking cut it. And I was like, I just come in your room and start cutting all your shit. And like,
Oh my god. He's probably just
the
like,
look on his face
I'm just
was just
stunned.
pure disaster. Like he was so shook and so upset, and I was just like, I calmed down really
I
quickly
love
in that
that.
moment. And I was like, look, this I realized. I said to him, not my best moment. And I realized that I just gave you shit for something that I turned around
It did.
and came and did. That's my bad. I fucked that up. I'm sorry. I'm still mad that you cut the couch. And so like I made this huge deal
Oh
about him
god.
like taking money out of his allowance to pay to get someone to sew it. And even that was like just mortifying for him. We never ended
Well,
up actually making him pay for it, but like I lost my shit enough. And then Ryan, this funny thing is like Ryan was always so crazy about Cash getting anything on the couch. So I figured he was gonna be fucking mad. He just comes in and he's like, "Meh." I'm like, of all the things for you not to get
isn't
mad
it funny
about,
how they
like
don't
that's the
react the
one.
way you expect him to?
I was mad, and then I not too much long later, I'm sitting on the couch and I look over on the arm of the couch. I'm playing with it right now. There's another lovely little hole, and so I was just like, I brought him over and I was like, dude, what the fuck? And he's like, that was from the same time, and I was like, so there was two. And you didn't fucking tell me what had happened? Oh my god, I was just like the fucking audacity of this.
It's
I just so yeah.
it's funny though. So I told my aunt, not is similar but not similar. When Evie pulled my hair a while back and like did it with like intent and like the look in her eyes of like I'm gonna hurt you, I told her, I was like, don't do that. And she did it again. So I yanked her ponytail and she got so mad at me.
Yeah.
And I was like, sorry, like, you're going to learn that you don't want it done to you, then
Yeah.
don't do it to me. And I told that to my aunt and she said, honestly, Haley, that's good parenting because she will not do it again. I can guarantee you. So similar to you, like,
Yeah.
maybe not the greatest way to react, but at the same time, you're going to cut my stuff. I'm going to show you what it feels like. You don't like it. You're not going to like it. It sucks. You don't ruin people's stuff. That's not fair. So I guarantee you he will
Yeah.
never forget that ever. And I will like I'll give you that. Like maybe not the coolest way, but like I still good for you, man. you fucking cut my shit, I'm
Oh
gonna
my
cut your
god.
shit. Sorry, but like, you don't do that, and he will never forget that. That will be a lesson he will never ever forget. I can promise you. I love that though.
Or,
What a little.
or
He's just mad he can't go in the hot tub. He's sitting there like, "Fuck you, mom. Fuck you."
that's and like that's something that I would do, like 100%.
Kayla's secretly like carving stuff up, and it's crazy.
Well,
They're very much a life lesson in like self-reflection too. Like I said, the mirror, because it makes you
yeah.
look at yourself like, shit, that's something I would have done. Like, oh
Oh
damn,
god.
that is something I would have done. Is that good? Like, is that a healthy?
Yeah, it's
I love that. That is so funny, dude. Are you still playing with it
well,
or
and
what?
yeah, and I told Cash too, like I explained to him, like we're trying to explain like the value of things, like that was more what I was more frustrated about, was
Yeah.
that like it was like a fuck you, like a disrespect to the value of the things that we put in the home to make it a home. And so that, long story short, I ended up telling him about this time that I did something like this to my dad, because this is exactly something that I did. Like in and maybe worse, because actually mine was way worse. Like Ryan paid for this couch. This couch is paid for. My dad had just got a new truck that he leased, and I took the cigarette thing, and I pushed it in, and then I poked it into the headliner like 10 times, and then into the back of the seat, and into the like actual seat, and yeah, I had to write lines.
Kayla.
Yeah, it was bad. I did it, and it was like, now looking back, I'm like, you know how we have intrusive thoughts as adults, like
That's what that was.
looking back, I'm like, that was like 100, because like I was like, I know it's gonna burn it, but like I just want to
I
see
want to
it.
do it.
I just want to do it, you know. And it's not my finest moment in my life. So I told Cash, I was like, I get it. Like I get that you're curious, or even I was like, even if you were mad,
Mhm.
I not how you deal with your emotions. You don't take it out on our things,
Yeah.
but
It's crazy how like right and wrong, like right from wrong. I did stuff too that is like mortifying to even like admit as a kid, and mine was like as a teenager. But yeah, when
yeah,
you
it
know
was.
things are wrong, but there's just something, you don't have that regulation to be like, no, I can't do that. That is so incorrect. But like sometimes, yeah, it's like, you know what if I did do that?
Yeah, what
Yeah,
if? And honestly, yeah, I think that's how I was like my whole life though. Like right from when I got adopted, I was just like I'd fuck around and I'd find out, but like I'd always still keep fucking around. Like so I honestly, Cash is kind of a walk in the park, really, considering like how I was. But like I think about it and I'm like, that's a really great thing, because I've come a long way as a person, and I'm now capable of raising a child
mhm.
who is far less dysregulated emotionally than I was, you know? So I'm like, you know, it's kind of like being a parent is kind of also like a really, really great like reward, you know?
Yes.
Um, you're you're raising the future, and I say that a lot, like to a lot of people, and that's why I wanted to do the childcare thing and work in childcare, because I just wanted to be a part of children's lives in that way, where you're so influential in those, like we had babies under a year
Incredibly so.
to a year and a half to a year and a half to 2.5 to the 3 to 5, like we saw the children from like a full scope in that
Yeah.
daycare, and that's the one thing that I really liked about it, was that age variation, and they're just getting ready to do like out of school care for, so they're going to have that as well, so it's just like really cool, and their children are so neat, and that you know, right from the time that they come out until they're like 7, 8, 9, and 10, like they're forming and they're becoming these people, and yeah, it's being a parent and being around kids or having anything
Yeah.
to do with children where you're helping shape
Getting
their
to
future
impact
for
them in
whatever.
some
Yeah,
way.
because it does. Good teachers impact children in such a way that, like, I still remember grade one teacher was amazing. Kindergarten, Mrs. Werelf was fucking awesome. I love the shit out of that lady. And then grade one, I kind of sort of remember. I think her name was Mrs. Bishop. Then Mrs. Gisela. this really creepy, weird teacher that I didn't like. We all made fun of him. He was such a weirdo. Me and my girlfriends made fun of him.
We
But
all
I
had one of
remember the
those.
good teachers, So it's when you can have people that it's cool. So that's why like Evie going to daycare,
Honestly, my day
going
home
and being around
provider
children.
is amazing. Like Evie comes home, like she can count to 10. Did not come from me. She knows her shapes. Like some of the things that she learns during the day
Oh,
while there is just so like one,
it's
it makes me feel
mesmerizing.
like a real shitty mom that it's not coming from me. Like I'm not the one teaching her this, but at the same time, it is just so insane to see, yeah, the impact that especially someone positive and someone like helpful and like kind can like have on kids. So I'm
Yes.
very grateful for it, absolutely, because she only goes part-time, she only goes in the morning. But yeah, be getting to I agree with you, getting to I don't get to impact other children's lives, obviously, but like getting to be an influence
Raising
on a
your own is a
whole
lot though.
human being and like helping them along and like watching them grow and like helping them to like, yeah, like realize right from wrong and like decisions and like understand like situations and concepts. And it's just, it is very much a privilege. Like it, I
Yeah.
hate to say it, and everyone's journey is their own, but people that choose not to have children, it kind of like makes me sad because like that is something that is so irreplaceable in life, of like getting to have a child, raise that child, and watch them become a person that like you molded, essentially. Like your influence helped guide them into what they like. It is a wild experience. It is
It
beyond that.
is.
So I feel for people that can't and people that choose not to. I feel like you're
Yes.
kind of, I feel like you're robbing yourself of some pretty incredible experiences, in my opinion.
Yeah, like in ways that like a career and traveling, like that stuff's all great and like, flying solo just
Hmm.
as a couple, that stuff's great, but you're just not you're I don't know, I feel the same. Like you're missing out on something that is so magical. So I have friends that don't have kids and that don't want kids, and I'm like, I don't think any differently
Yeah.
of them, but like when you sit there and think about it, I share a lot of my moments that my son has with my good friends and some of them still don't have, like, they don't have children or they're talking
Hmm.
about it, or you know what I mean? And they're so like engulfed in the idea of them, and they're mesmerized by them, and they love the little moments, and they think the shitty moments are hilarious. Like it's funny to talk to your friends that don't have kids,
Yeah.
and you're just like they're talking about them beating you off or something, and your friends are just like their responses are so different than that what you would get from like another parent.
I was gonna say how
It's kind of
different
funny.
you are after being a parent. Like it changes you too. So like
Oh,
you're
it
missing out
changes
on
you.
like an evolution of yourself as well. Cause yeah, I am like Nick has said so many times. He's like, dude, I don't know where you have found this patience. Like you weren't typically impatient before, but he's like, I applaud you. He said the patience that you have mustered since her is just unreal. And I feel like she has. She has made me more patient, more understanding. She has taught me to like calm. One of the things that I've taught her that I love is her to just like kind of relax
Oh,
and chill and breathe when you're like feeling really emotional. So they teach you almost more than you teach them in some cases. Like it is a
yeah.
it's a master class in finding your extremes, like how patient, impatient, happy, unhappy, like everything. You go through it all.
Yeah, it is crazy. Like there's so many different, like that meme that I sent you about the different
Literally.
emotions they go through in a day as like it's funny because it should be like parents, but like if you're for in that's why specifically for you it's because you're home with her, right?
Yeah.
Like you spend the majority of time, so like
Nick and I
you
were
would have a
dying at that
hundred
meme.
percent moments like that. Yeah, like it's
Crying in the
fucking
shower.
funny. I like the Dexter one where he's kind of like,
I like any David Rose face of like like just like pure frustration, or like pulling your hair out, or like yeah, the crying in the shower. Nick and I were like in tears because that was us during like the last week when she was sick. Just like,
Yeah,
just leave me alone. I just need a minute. Like, oh my god.
yeah.
They
Oh,
definitely work your emotions and develop them extremely fast.
yeah. They pull every part of you out, and you have to like witness it, and then decide how you're gonna move forward, like
To cut the
as it
pillow or
goes
not to
on.
cut the pillow. Like, you definitely learn your limits and learn what you're like you're, you're willing to do to teach him a lesson, which yeah. I
Oh,
pulled my daughter's hair. She pulled mine. What do you want from me? Kayla cut the pillow. He cut the couch. Like, it is what it is. You got to
it
figure
is
it out.
what it
And it
is.
is very much as you go. Because, like, it's my first. It was Cash was your first. Like, it's just, you are very much developing these. Everyone thinks they have an idea of what you're going to parent like before kids. And that is quite
Oh,
honestly so far from what
throw
it
it
is.
out
Like, throw that out. Don't have any expectations. Go in it with an open mind and open
day by
heart,
day,
and that's it. Yeah, day by day, minute by minute,
minute by minute.
figure that shit out as you on the fly. It really
Yeah, it's
sharpens
on the
your
fly.
MacGyver skills of like trying to like yeah, I don't know. Being a mom has been, I was never the girl that like desperately wanted to be a parent or like needed to get married. I wasn't like super. I don't know if that's because I came from not a broken home, but my mom and dad never got married, or they were split up when I was 2. So I don't know if it was because of that, but there is something in me that hit just before we had her that was like, I could do, I think that's kind of like my path and where I want to go with it. And like I definitely want to have a kid
Yeah,
now that I did. I wish I would have started younger, and I wish I had like 6 of them, because honestly, I don't know. I adore her to no end. Like
yeah,
she could
she's
do no
pretty
wrong in my
great.
eyes. It's going to be really hard punishing her as she gets older.
Yeah, it is and it isn't. Like it's crazy how you learn how to like balance that too. Like where you're so in love with them
Mhm.
that you're just like you're everything. You're obsessed with them, and then you're like, well, I have to discipline. And
You have to
those
be the
moments
boss,
actually
right?
came easier than not because like I think I have a temper, but I'm very good at like recognizing it, and so is Ryan. That if we kind of like take it over the top, like we will apologize and let him know that like that we're sorry
Yeah.
for escalating it that way, and so he always knows that like we are human too.
I do my
Like
best to apologize to Evie when I
yeah,
overreact, or I don't ever want her to go through life of not knowing, like, I don't know, parents should apologize to their children when stuff goes sideways, right? Like,
when they're wrong,
yeah,
yeah,
because we're not
admit it, be like accountable.
the be all end all of correct, right? Like, we do make
We're
mistakes and
people.
stuff will, yeah, we're human, right? Like, it is what it is. But no, I love that I think that's another thing. Children make you very self-aware. Like, when,
Oh my god.
yeah, you lose your cool, or when you need to like rein it in type thing. It's eye opening.
Very fine line,
Hmm.
and I'm always like thinking about how mine was and like the shitty moments, and I'm aware that like they need to have shitty moments
Hmm.
too, but like it to a degree, right? And so you have to be careful, but like it's so weird. Like there's a thing that Jordan Peterson says too, like about children, and basically you have to allow them to do dangerous things but
Safely.
safely
I
because like
love
you're
that. Nick and I are
there,
so on board with that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's a very fine line because you can't coddle them too much, like you coddle them too much and they become so entitled and like obnoxious
It's a
and
fine balance
arrogant
of
and
learning things the hard way versus trying to teach them everything up front so they know what they're getting into. There's just some things that you gotta learn the hard way. Like Evie sticking her finger in the
yeah.
fucking shower drain. Guarantee you she won't do that again. Like, it just,
She just wanted to see what would happen, right? Like she was just like, I
dude,
wonder
seriously,
like what
she's just
happens
crouched
if
there.
I put my finger
Ah, and
in.
I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I open the door, and yeah, her finger's like in there. I'm like, dude, the fuck. please don't do
What
that.
are you doing?
I was worried it was actually stuck. I was getting ready to call Nick, like, get some wire cutters, some pliers, something, because if we're going to amputate her finger and chop off the frickin' the drain, like, I
Cut the
don't know
drain
what's going
hole,
on,
like
but
cut the
they all
tub out. Yeah.
they also put you in those situations of, like, stress and extreme where, yeah, you have to prepare yourself for the best and the worst in a lot of crappy ways, like illness
Yes.
and like
Yes.
accidents, and yeah, learning things the hard
Pain.
ways
Pain.
don't always pan out, right?
Well, like it's so frustrating because there'll be times where I'll tell Cash not to do something, and then exactly why I tell him not to do it is happens, and he just looks at me, and I was like,
Did I
"How
not?
do you not believe I'm a sorcerer by now? Like I predict everything that's shitty that's possibly gonna go on, and I try to like, keep
Yeah,
you from having to go through it." But honestly, I was the same way, and I'm
I
like,
think a lot of kids
"Eh,
are. You have
have to
to
learn the hard way."
learn things for yourself, because I am the same thing. Like, if you just listen to me, but we know that now, but when we were kids, I didn't listen to a
Hmm.
damn thing anyone said. I knew better. You know what you're doing. I'm gonna do this. And it
Oh, I was a twat.
yeah. I was a
I was a fucking twat.
I love that. Yeah, no, parenting, it's nice. Like I said, it's nice having you as another parent to like kind of bounce stuff off, because I do have a lot of girlfriends and friends that are parents. So it is nice to have, yeah, just people that have gone through it, are far past it, can tell you, look, yeah, it sucks for a year or two, or this period
It
of
does
their
get better.
development does suck, but it does get better. It ends eventually. Everything comes to an end and will restart in worse ways and better ways. But
Yeah.
yeah, kids are a grab bag of fun.
It's
Stick
just
your
a
hand in
trip.
there and you get
See
what
what
you
you
get.
get.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
you get what you get.
God. We definitely
Oh,
have to do
fun.
more episodes like this, because it is, I feel like
Yeah.
it's scary relatable how, yeah, children are all very different, but they're all very the same at the same time.
Well, yeah, and it's like Cash has been a part of the show since we started in 2020. So now Evie as well, you know what I mean? So it's kind of neat too to like we can kind of hop back on and talk like currently what's happening in our
Exactly.
lives as moms, and we have such an age gap between our children where like they're like I will have already gone through or whatever, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's kind of nice. Like I don't think I have any friends whose kids are older than mine, so I'm kind of just like I'm free ranging it.
Well, I feel like too, like your raising Cash at the age Evie was so different from mine. Like, I had to go through the whole COVID thing and like
Oh
isolation and like
God,
not getting
yeah,
to do things, whereas like you wouldn't have had to. So like we're definitely, it's like I said, it's the same, but it's different, which is really nice
yeah,
though. Like, it's just a nice balance of like, dude, did you have this? Yes, I did. Like, don't worry, it gets better. Like, did you have to go through this? No. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, I
yeah,
have no idea what that is. Like, it'll be interesting, and to watch them grow. Like, she's made a few
yeah.
appearances, so like, if this, knock on wood and cross fingers, if this continues for like years to come, it'll be really interesting to, yeah, see just how our kids change and develop. Like,
Grew up,
I love it.
yeah.
And Cash is
I
like
do
the
too. It's kind of
cutest. I love how like
he's
I love just all of our stories. They never get old. Like him being sweet about the 10,000 K, and like he's the
yeah he's
sweetest.
you like even when I get dressed up or like yeah I got dressed up and if I put on like an outfit, he's at an age now where he's like noticing and he compliments me and I'm just like
Dude, that is so sweet
thanks
though.
buddy.
I think
He's
that's
like, Mom, like you look really nice. And I'm like, oh. And then he found my lip gloss and he was like looking at it and I grabbed it from him. I was like, oh, I was looking for that. And he's like, what is it? I was like, oh, it's for my lips. And he's like, yeah, I noticed that you were wearing it yesterday when we went out for dinner. And I thought it was really pretty. And I was like, what?
oh my god.
Okay.
That unprompted things like that melt me. The other day or yesterday, Evie was picking dandelions in our front yard, and she came and gave me one, and I said, "Thank you, that's so beautiful." And she just like leaned in and gave me a kiss. Welcome,
Oh my
mummy.
God.
And I was just like,
Welcome.
I started crying in my front yard. Oh my god, no one's here to see this. This was so cute. Like, just pulling every heartstring that I have. My lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
No, I love
so
it.
Good. Fuck.
Well, should we cut it there?
I mean, I think we can. I think we've had a really good chat about like the trials and tribulations of being a parent, and
hell, if
I'm
anyone
excited
wants to
for you
come
to
on and
kinda
discuss anything, by all means.
tell us. Yeah, shoot the shit. We can have just a real honest conversation about how parenting pulls like your literal soul out of your body and puts it back in.
Soul sucking in the best
it
way
just like
possible.
pulls it and then like cocks it and just sends
like
you
a
back
slingshot.
in. So yeah,
right?
or like a boomerang, something. Yeah,
no kidding. Well,
Fuck.
hopefully we do get to do many more of these because I feel like an hour I could talk about this forever.
Yeah, and I mean, there's so many stories, and they'll just continue to get better. Like when she's like going 3, 4, and 5, and like school starting, it's going to be really interesting to
for sure
kind of see that chronologically as we go on. But
well, same
thank
with you for the
doing
teenagers.
this.
Yeah, no, thank
Oh my
you.
God.
I love this. We
Gross.
definitely have to do milestone check-ins and every now and then because we've got a lot to look forward to, the both of us. I love it.
We do. All right, well, thanks for coming, guys.
See ya.
Bye.
Thank you guys so much for stopping by the show today. We truly hope that you had a good time. If you like this episode and you want to hear more, make sure to subscribe to our channels, like our episodes, and turn on those notification bells. You can find us on Rumble, YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, Apple, and Google Podcast. You can also find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest. Until next time, guys.